Great. Here's one student's response this morning. So I totally understand this. It is sensible because I can see like we have the truck volume and the box volume, and this makes sense because you know how to come up with the volume of prisms. I'm glad. And then we divided those things and got about 225, which I understand, finding total volume and then the unit volume and dividing those things to see how many times the unit volume fits. That's great. What I want to know is what's the problem with this argument? And I would say there are problems. Here's where I want feedback from you guys. So awesome. In the chat, there is a link and you can follow that link to go give me feedback. What's wrong with this argument? It's multiple choice. So you have 4 possible answers. And I just want to know what's wrong with this argument. Why can't we just take that total volume, divide by unit volume, and get this number? And that seems good. It's 225 done. What's wrong with that? So go to the chat, follow the link, and choose an option. Let's see what we got. And I'm giving you guys time. I saw Danik come in, and who else? Paulina came in. So welcome, Danik and Paulina.
Hello.
Hey, hey.
Hello.
So those of you who just joined us, this is one student's work that we looked at. And so you guys are seeing like truck volume, box volume, am I right? Do you guys see that? Truck volume and then box volume, and then they divide the two?
Yes, my work.
So there's something wrong with this argument. It doesn't work perfectly in this case. And if you worked this morning, I bet you have an idea why. There's a link in the chat. I want you to go to that link and vote and tell me why do you think, like, what's wrong with it?
I don't know. I thought that like in the first one, like truck volume, I wanted to find the volume of the truck. In the second, I find the volume of the box. And then I divide it. So like I find the total number of the boxes what can fit in the truck.
Yeah, and I think this makes a ton of sense to me. I can follow the argument perfectly. Just saying in this context, it doesn't work. So that's why I gave that link. Let's give like 15 more seconds. If you haven't responded yet, 15 seconds, go respond. And
What do you mean?
I mean, follow the link in the chat. You know how to get to the chat?
Yep.
So go to the chat, follow the link. There'll be 4 choices, and you just choose one.
What is fluid?
Fluid. Things that are fluid are liquids and gases. So if you think like if I had a pitcher and I had like some amount of liquid I were going to put into it, this would be a perfectly fine argument because you can pour that liquid in and it just fills up all the space, right? That's the idea of a fluid. So let's look at your guys' responses. To do it, I'm going to stop share.
I think it treats the boxes like a fluid that can pour into the truck.
So these were our responses, which makes sense. So it ignores the fact there's likely extra space as the boxes don't fit perfectly. So this is just saying like how we pack the boxes matter, and there could be like extra centimeters at the end. So people who chose A, you definitely worked on the problem. I know why you chose that. It makes sense. Oh, and we have more responses rolling in. It's not equal to about 227 boxes. It's interesting. I did the same calculations and I got 227. The student got 225. I don't really care what the final answer is. The argument's the same either way. So if that's the problem, fine. And then the last one, it treats the boxes like a fluid. So it's like you can just pour the boxes into the truck, but they're not that way. They're boxes. You have to either like put them, you know, on one edge or on another edge or on another edge. Like you have to put them somehow. So I'm going to close it. It is fascinating that so many people chose A and C because the answer I was thinking is actually both A and C. That's what I would choose. The fact that the boxes are not fluid means there will be extra space. And so those things are like totally tied together and you can't remove them. If there were fluid, like if there was like water, you could pour it in and there would be no extra space. It would fill up everything completely. So I would choose one of those. The fact that it's not equal to 227 boxes, honestly, I don't care that much about. That's like a final answer. What I care about is your process because it shows your understanding. So I would choose either A or C because it deals with the fact that these are boxes and they have to be placed because they're solid. So you put them one way or the other. You can't just pour them in. I'd like to see thumbs. Does that make sense to everyone? I have a lot of cameras were shut off again. So I appreciate those people who turn cameras on. Great. And I see the vast majority of people have given me thumbs feedback. So thanks. And if your thumbs in the middle are down, thanks for that too. I'm always interested to know if people have thumbs in the middle and down. So that's all I wanted to say about this. If we were dealing with a liquid or a gas, we could do this and it would be a perfect argument. But in this case, these are boxes. You can't pour them in. So let's look at some other student responses. Here's another student. I really like this argument. I see they're saying the truck height is 250. They've chosen the box height is 60. And so they divided those things and they found, you could see they found 4.116 and they rounded down to 4, which is great. Like even when they found 4.9 for another dimension, they rounded down to 4. I totally get that connection. They're rounding down always because you just can't fit another box. So it doesn't matter how much space is left. It just matters the fact that there is space left tells us, it tells us, it tells us that we're wasting space. But so this person chose 60 is gonna be the height, 50 is gonna be the width, 80 is gonna be the length. And I can see the amount, like the way they put it, they told Stefan he should pack 4 boxes in high, 4 boxes in wide, and 11 boxes in length. That was like length continued. That's sensible. I totally get this argument. I want you guys to follow that same link. And I just want to know, if you were Stefan, would you know how to pack the truck? I'll give maybe another, let's say 45 seconds to follow that same link and tell me, if you were Stefan, would you know how to pack the truck? About 20 more seconds.
What?
So there's a link in the chat. I want you to follow that link, the same link as before, but there will be a new poll now when you open it. And the poll now will say, does Stefan know how to pack the truck? I want to know, based on the information you guys are looking at, based on this student's work, if you were Stefan, would you know how to pack the truck? Yes or no? Then let's check it out. Here's what your guys' responses were. Vast majority of you guys say you do know how to pack the truck. Oh, sorry, I know people are still voting. Vast majority of people know how to pack the truck, and that's interesting. That's totally fine. I was trying to get at, there's different values of communication. We can communicate really well or really poorly, and then all the spectrum between. But you guys could follow this communication and would be able to pack the truck. 22% of you said you wouldn't have known how to pack the truck. And that actually makes a ton of sense to me. When I look at this, I know people are pretty notoriously bad at following directions. And when I see things like Stefan should pack 4 boxes in high, 4 boxes in wide, and 11 boxes in length, like I know if I don't get 4 boxes high, there's a problem, but I don't know how to make the boxes go to stack 4 high. Like I don't think many people could follow these directions. If you can, that's awesome. But I think a lot of people would get lost following these directions. Give me thumbs. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? That maybe the directions could have been written more clearly. And I see a few thumbs. If your thumbs in the middle are down, thank you for showing me. That's always what I want to know is, are we ready to move on or do we need to chat about things? I've seen 9 thumbs now. Okay, well, let's keep going. So here's another student's work. These are great, by the way. I think you guys many of you did awesome work this morning on this problem. I really like this student's work because of this diagram. You guys see this diagram over here? Like they've drawn the whole truck and they're showing, this is the bottom of the truck is 890 by well, it shouldn't be 250 high. Oh no, maybe it is 250 and 245. I think that's right. So 250 wide, and then they drew the side, and then they drew the front of the truck. And they're trying to actually draw in here and make things fit, like the cleanest, use the most space they can. And so they diagrammed for a while until they felt like they had a solution, and then they wrote me their solution. They said it was 220 boxes, and they said the answer is he needs to pack like that, 80 centimeters in length, 50 centimeters in height, 60 centimeters in width. So I think this is quality. I really understand what the student is saying. And if you guys follow that same link again, the next thing I want to know is, did he prove that the boxes actually fit the best that way? Like, is it a proof that the best way to fit the boxes is 80 centimeters in length, 50 centimeters in height, and 60 in width? So thanks to people who are following that link and voting again. I'll give maybe another 60 seconds. Here's what we've got. Based on that person's diagram, most people, like about 2/3 of us, thought that he would fit it in, and 1/3, or sorry, thought that he proved the best way to fit the boxes was that. And 33% of people thought that he did not prove that. Let's look at it. That's interesting to me. So I see his work. What I want to know then, if he's proved it, how do I know it's not better to go, for example, 60 here and 50 here, you know, and then 80 high the same way? Like how do I know that this is, I guess, and you don't have a method to respond. I hate that in this environment. He hasn't proven it. He's shown this is a good method, and he's shown he can fit 220 boxes. That's a lot. But I wouldn't say he's proved it. So proof is going to be one of the things I want to think about next. I think I had one more question with this person. Yeah, that's what I want to know next. Am I right? What I want to know next is, how useful is this person's diagram? Follow that same link and let me know, how useful is this diagram this person added? How useful is the diagram? Following the same link and voting. Let's say 60 more seconds.
Sorry, I don't have a question like by the link. It's written like waiting for.
That was totally my fault. Yeah, it was because I hadn't made it active yet. My fault, sorry. As always, thanks to people with cameras on. I appreciate seeing you guys are here and with me, not just talking to a wall of names. So is the diagram useful? Thanks to people who are going to the link and voting. Because I didn't activate it yet, let's say 30 more seconds. Like 10 more seconds. Okay, cool. Let's check out what you guys had said. How useful is the diagram? Most people are skewed super high on like, this diagram is useful. There were some of you guys that thought it was extremely useful. And then some people that thought like, yeah, it's just pretty useful. I agree with you guys. I think this diagram is really useful. And my point with it would be, diagrams are almost always super useful. Like just in general, if you are diagramming to solve a problem, you're probably on the right track. Diagramming is useful. So yeah, so just in general, as a solution strategy, I would always support people who are diagramming like that. Here's a different diagram someone came up with. So this diagram took me a little while to figure out, and it's interesting, but it took me a while to figure out because they didn't fill in the whole thing. When I looked at it and I realized, okay, this is like the, this was the length, the width, and the height, I think, of the truck. And then we had like, whatever, width, height, and length of the box. I don't remember which one of those is which, but it basically means you have to choose one box from each row. So you could pack the 50 along the width, and the 60 along the length, and the 80 along the height, or you could pack instead, you know, you could pack the 50 along the height, and the 60 along the length, and the 80 along the width. Like you could choose any 3 boxes here from each row, and it would all be a solution. So this person didn't fill in every possibility, but they did show like every possibility is present. It's all here. And based on every possibility and looking at that, they chose this option. Well, that seems really maximal. 220 boxes is a lot, especially when we see this first person had proven there's no way we can get more than 225. If the boxes were liquid, that would be a maximum. So this person has shown us this is a way we can get 220, and they've shown a way we can map all possible solutions. So that's super useful. I'd like to see thumbs. Do you guys see and understand? Do you agree this person, if they filled in the box, would have all possible ways we could pack the truck? And thanks as always to people with thumbs in the middle and down. I've seen about half of everyone's thumbs. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, then there was a person with also another really good solution. This is obviously a really good solution at 220 and could be a maximum solution. I don't know. I mean, I know, but you don't know until you've proven it. Down here is another person that they didn't do anything to prove it was maximal. Like this person could finish this table and it would be proven. This person hasn't proven anything yet, but they have shown a really good solution. So this direction gets the 80, this direction gets the 60, this direction gets the 50. They found those amounts, they multiplied it and said it's actually 204 boxes. I don't know why they said or 220, because this is 204 boxes. But then they give directions. There'll be 4 boxes in width, 3 boxes in height. Also in length will be 17 boxes. This is pretty solid directions. Like I think I can follow that. Maybe a little bit better than this person. They both are similar. So, so yeah, solid. Those are the main things I wanted to say here, I think. We have one more. We do. The last note I want to make is whatever solution strategy you have, I'm a huge fan of diagrams like this, and I'm a huge fan of diagrams like this. In this case, actually, if you fill in the entire diagram and choose one piece from each column, then, or sorry, one from each row, then you will have a maximal solution, and you will have proven that among all of the possibilities, this one's best. So that's the first thing. You need to find the best and be able to prove it's the best. The second thing is having good directions. So here's one person's directions. Total amount of boxes are going to be 204. Sounds like a good strategy. He needs to take the boxes and put them, I don't know, so we can see the opening part. 3 boxes high, 4 boxes length, 17 boxes, and then it's done. One more time, I want you guys to follow that link and tell me, if that were your directions, does Stefan know how to pack the truck? So follow that link one more time, and one more time vote for me. Based on this, does Stefan know how to pack the truck? I see votes rolling in. Thanks to people who followed the link and are voting. Maybe about, let's say 20 more seconds. All right, let's check out what you guys got. Share this guy. Let's turn it off. Does Stefan know how to pack the truck? A lot of you guys think that he does know how to pack it, and more people think that he doesn't. It's pretty split. I mean, close to 50-50. Again, in my experience, people are bad at directions. So when I look at directions like this person has here, I think if you guys are able to follow them, that is awesome. But I think the average person might have trouble. There's, I don't know what it is about people, but directions have to be very specific to be followed well. So we have about 30 more minutes, which for most of you guys, I think will be plenty of time. I want to know two things. Like when you, I want you to go and complete what you can and resubmit your work. And I'm interested in two things. One is, can you prove that your way to pack the truck is best? So the person who is making that table, it would be proven if they finished that argument. There are other ways to prove it also. I want to know, first of all, can you prove your way to pack the truck is best? And second of all, can you leave quality directions so that Stefan can follow them and he knows exactly how to pack the truck? Give me thumbs if you guys know what you're supposed to go work and fix on for the next 30 minutes. I've seen, oh no, there's more. I think I've seen 6 thumbs out of, oh no, maybe we're up to 7 now. So a lot of people know what they're gonna go work on. I want you to go try to make the best solution you can to the packing problem. And I wanna know exactly those two things. Can you prove your solution's the best? Can you give Stefan quality directions so that he can pack the truck and you know that it'll be packed right? If you understand what you're going to be working on, then go ahead and take off and work on it for the next 30 minutes. I'll be available both on Teams and email, and I'll probably be here for a little while longer because if anyone has questions, I want you to hang out and ask questions. So if you know what you're doing, go ahead and take off. I'll see you guys soon.